We all know that PUO is pyrexia of unknown origin. This is a very common presentation to our hospital, to our clinics. This is the diagnosis which has specific definition. Not just each and every fever that lasts long is termed as PUO. We have to be careful while labeling it as pyrexia of unknown origin. Now I will be going for a pre-test for all of you that what all cases are common in patients of PUO. What is the commonest cause of PUO? This you have to answer. The four choices are: first is a common disease presenting in atypical way, second is a rare disease presenting in atypical way, a common disease presenting typically, or a rare disease presenting typically. So you have 10 seconds to answer. Yes, you are right. The answer is A, that is the commonest cause of PUO is common diseases presenting atypically. Now in this lecture we will be dividing this lecture in two parts. We will be talking about the terminology, about the epidemiology and the etiology in the first part, and the remaining diagnostic approach, the therapeutic approach, and what is the outcome in the second lecture. First we will be discussing the terminology. The definition of PUO has changed. Earlier the definition was fever higher than 38.3 degrees centigrade on several occasions. The duration of fever should be 3 weeks and the diagnosis uncertain after 1 week of study in hospital. But this definition have been revised. Now the definition is eliminated the hospital evaluation. It is not required that the patient should be hospitalized for evaluation. 3 outpatient visits or 3 days in hospital. The patient may be ambulatory as well as in the hospital. Now we will expand the definition. There are 5 types of PUO. First one is classical PUO. Second is nosocomial PUO. We all know that nosocomial means it is acquired in the hospital setting. A patient is in the hospital for some reason, maybe because of surgery, maybe because of any other reason, and develops fever that is not being diagnosed, that is nosocomial PUO. Third is neutropenic PUO, that is the fever because of neutropenia. Fourth one is HIV associated. And finally, it is post-transplant PUO. Now, categories of illnesses that cause PUO. Most common is infections. That accounts for 30 to 40% of the cases of pyrexia of unknown origin. Second comes malignancies. Third is collagen vascular diseases. Fourth one is miscellaneous. And still 10 to 15% of the patients of PUO remain undiagnosed. Now it is very important that in 19th century, 1970, if we say, infection was the most frequent cause of pyrexia of unknown origin, that accounted to 70% of the undiagnosed PUOs. But because of recent diagnostic advances, we are able to diagnose infections very well. Nowadays, the scenario has changed and there are less number of infections that remain undiagnosed and more number of other cases that are causes of for PUO. The spectrum has been modified for PUO. Serology, we go for serology. HIV serology is available, Brucella, SLE. There are certain good imaging techniques like abscesses that can diagnose abscesses, solid tumors. We have MRI, we have CT scan, and latest one is PET scan. By PET scan we can see, we can focus if there is any tiny abscess also anywhere in the body, then we can detect it. Now, if the patient is having fever that is lasting for more than 1 year, then there are less chances that the patient is having fever because of infection. More chances the patient is having chances of malignancy. Still, the majority of diseases remaining after an initial negative workup are neoplasm is the commonest one, then is seronegative collagen vascular diseases. What we do is normally go for investigations for collagen vascular diseases like RA, ANA, but still there are certain diseases in which the serology is negative for these diseases. Increasing tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is a common diagnosis which it is very difficult to diagnose tuberculosis in certain cases. If the patient remains undiagnosed, especially in our country in which tuberculosis is very common, then we go for empirical antitubercular therapy, and in many of these cases the fever goes away and we go for complete treatment of tuberculosis. So, hidden tuberculosis is common, especially in our country. Now, increasing drug addiction. We know that drugs also cause fever. There are certain drugs like meropenem in patients who are in hospital setting are prescribed with multiple antibiotics, many other agents which can also cause fever. So, it is not always that the patient is having fever, not responding to one antibiotic, you keep on switching other antibiotics. You should also think of fever related to antibiotics. Elderly patients with endocarditis, HIV with or without infection or malignancy, and implanted prosthetic devices. Travel, a patient comes from another country, there is different spectrum of infection in that country. For example, the patient comes from Arabic country, they are having good number of familial Mediterranean fever cases, comes to India, and it is very difficult to diagnose these cases because what we come across is patients of dengue, tuberculosis, malaria, scrub typhus. So, you have to take a good travel history before going for further workup. In children, if we talk, infection is the most frequent cause. Epstein-Barr virus infections, cytomegalovirus infections. In elderly, malignancies and connective tissue disorders are common. One should think of giant cell arteritis if the patient is above the middle age, more than 50 years, having high ESR, tender temporal arteries, then think of giant cell arteritis because you have to diagnose it on time so as to prevent the mortality. Another is polymyalgia rheumatica. Now, geographic distribution, as I have talked earlier, is very important. Malaria is common in Saudi countries, Africa, India. Brucella is common in Saudi Arabia, Gulf area. Kala Azar, Sudan, India. In the eastern part of India, Kala Azar is common. So, you have to take history whether the patient belongs to eastern states like Orissa, Bihar, then you should think of Kala Azar. Leprosy, it is now not that common in Indian countries like other countries. Typhoid is common in India, Pakistan, Egypt, Indonesia. Histoplasmosis is common in USA. So, this ease of travel has spreaded many infections which were not common in some countries. Because of ease of travel in recent last 2-3 decades, these all infectious diseases have spread throughout the world. So, you have to be cautious, you have to study the country from which the patient has come so as to diagnose the cause of PUO. Now, this tuberculosis, liver abscess, HIV related illness, fever is common all over the world. Fever without any source, there may be bacteremia itself. Fever lasting more than 7 days, one should think of fungal infections, especially if the patient is immunocompromised, if the patient is on antibiotics in the ICU setting, then one should think of fungal infections. Or you can, if you are highly suspecting fungal infection, you can add empirically. Fever usually co-founding with underlying diseases, drugs, blood products and allograft rejection. Now second cause is neutropenia. Fever, if fever is unexplained and relieves or abates with return of neutrophil, this is very common. Fever if persisting even after the return of the neutrophil to the normal limit, then think of systemic fungal infections. Now if we talk about infections, there are three major causes, especially in our country, like abscesses, occult abscesses. One might have abscess in the abdomen, in the lung, in the neck or anywhere else. So we have to extensively search for any collection, pus collection, so as to diagnose the cause of infection. So for this you can go for CT scan, sonographies or even PET scan. Intracellular organisms like Salmonella, Mycobacterium and Brucella, these are also organisms in which the infection is not that easy to diagnose with commonly available tests. And another is intravascular infection that may be caused by subacute bacterial endocarditis. Other infections that are common, especially in our countries, are disseminated tuberculosis. This is the single most common infection in most PO series except in children and elderly. Most of these tubercular infections in the PO category are usually extrapulmonary or miliary tuberculosis, occurs in the lungs and significant pre-existing lung disease. For example, the patient is having significant destruction. So we will be ending our lecture for today, and the remaining part will be taking in the next lecture. Thank you so much. Thank you.